So Mel, so you are saying that you're actually missing the cold weather. I wouldn't say we are, because we live in the cold. So tell me, is everybody okay? And I can see that our brother, the sparkling star, all the way from Spain, has emerged on the screen. So, okay, let me start. Very warm welcome and good morning to everyone to this year's 2022's first WandS session. Greetings of love, peace, joy, and happiness to each and every one of you. Congratulations to all of you for making it on time today and joining in from every corner of the world. You guys are fantastic. Now, a gentle reminder, before we start, you may wish to have a notebook, pen, and a drink. Like I've got this one here. It's a cool drink. Later on, I'll make the hot one. Yeah. And please, you can see that, you cannot talk to each other directly. Your videos and audios are off. It's because this is a webinar. Please feel free to use the chat box. And if you have any questions as well, I will announce that later. But what you need to do is to write very briefly and to the point, okay? So I can go through all of them. So as you can see, at the bottom of your screen, we've got translations in many languages. So we've got Portuguese, Spanish, French, Russian, Chinese, Hindi, Turkish, okay? So please feel free to use whichever room you want. And of course, continue to use the chat box to communicate with the whole group. Is that okay? And as always, the format is that there's going to be a 1-hour chat. We're going to have talk by our brother, who happens to be our speaker today, and I'll introduce him to you in just a couple of minutes. But before that, what did you think about the topic? Because some of you wrote back and said you really, really needed this topic, the magic of contentment. And you know what? This is what we call the drama. Everything is accurate. So I'm so glad you're happy with this thing. So tell me, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? Are you happy? How satisfied are you with life generally? Are you feeling the magic of contentment? To explore this topic further and share many other jewels of wisdom, we are very happy to welcome Brother Enrique Simo from Madrid. I think you're based in Madrid, yes? Am I right? Yes. Who is also joining WandS for the very first time. I don't know where he has been. Never mind. Now that we've met him, I promise we'll get him more often. So now let me just tell you a little bit about him. I was very happy to see this lovely long biodata. Very impressed, Enrique. So well done. So Enrique is a member of the national coordinating team of the BKs in Spain and the coordinator of the headquarters in Madrid. He is one of our senior yogis who is a meditation and personal development teacher with more than 30 years of experience. He works as an executive coach and is a facilitator in leadership development programs. He has traveled all over the world, giving lectures and courses in meditation, positive thinking, spiritual intelligence, inner leadership, and all other topics within personal development. So for over 10 years, he's also been working in the educational field, delivering training and coaching to school management teams, educational advisory teams, and teams of counselors. Enrique is very committed in helping people find their way in life and be able to live in peace and happiness, thus make the world a better place for everyone. So now, without more ado, let us give a very warm Tuesday morning WandS welcome to Enrique. Welcome, Enrique.
Thank you so much for this introduction.
I'm sorry,
And
I'm just going to switch off, but I'm sitting right here.
okay,
So just mention
perfect.
my name if you need something. Okay,
Wonderful.
over to you.
So thank you so much for the invitation. And for me, it's always a pleasure and an honor to be able to share with all of you. I always try to share a little bit of my experience regarding the topic. And it's also for me an opportunity to reflect in my life, in myself, in my journey, how contented am I. So I usually use the topics to check myself, to revise myself, and to use the topic for myself. And in this way, I can share with you, and I hope it will be useful for you also, but always from the perspective of myself learning and trying to share connected with my experience and the place where I'm at, not trying to be better or not, or to be too much theoretical, but connecting with the practical aspects of the topic. And it was it is a very, very important topic, especially if you are having a spiritual life or practicing meditation, but also for the people in the world, especially in these moments we're living, no, in a very unstable moments and very uncertain moments, and with so much confusion also. So there are happening so many things. So I was reflecting how much content am I in my life. And well, I can say that I'm pretty much content with my life. I enjoy very much what I'm doing. I appreciate what is happening in my life. I feel content with myself, with the people around me, with my family. I have a daughter and she has two children. So I'm a grandfather also. So just to create context so that you can see a little bit my whole picture. And well, externally, everything works well, my job also, and financially. So I have no real reasons to complain. So in my case, contentment is not only connected with internal resources and attainment, but also for this moment, at this moment in time, also external things are pretty well. But I was thinking that not for everyone is like this. So many things are not going well externally. And especially in these days, I think years back, we could live a life more stable with a fixed job, fixed salary, a stable family. Everything was going well, quite well. So, but now these things have changed. And there are so much uncertainty and so many changes, job, problems in relationships, health problems. So any moment something can happen. So these are the moments where we have to find another way to connect with this beautiful and powerful energy of contentment, which is so important for human beings. And even if you have everything, you have today the worry of the concern or the fears that you can lose all that you have, because anything can happen at any moment. So even if you have externally everything in the right place and everything it's good, it's difficult to be satisfied and contented because things are changing so quickly that you have this internal fear of losing whatever you have, and then you lose your contentment. So I understand contentment as a state of being satisfied with yourself, being satisfied in your mind, in your heart, and in your life, and independently of what is happening outside. If things are going well outside, okay. But if things are not going so well, because as I said before, things are changing, you are able to continue to be satisfied with yourself and with your life, because you are able to perceive in a more positive way the changes or the things that are happening outside. And this is, I think, what I'm doing in my personal reflection. And I was saying no to you a few minutes ago that everything it's externally, it's okay, it's fine. But at the same time, it's fine because I have the habit, I've trained myself for a long time through meditation and through spiritual knowledge. I've trained myself to put things right, even if they are not right. So that finally my feeling, my sensation, internally sensation, is that everything it's fine. But for another person could be different, the same situation. And I will give you an example. For example, this Christmas time, my brother and myself, we are living together. We got the virus. So we had positive because one person came to the center, came to a class, and she was not really good protected. And well, she didn't know that she has the virus, but finally she got it also. And I felt that something was happening this day. And next day, my brother was feeling bad, and next day I was feeling not so good. So we made the test and was positive. So what happened? We had to be 10 days confined in the center, no activities, no family celebrations. But at the same time, was a time for introspection, for really being more in silence, more connected with myself. So I changed this situation that could have been a problem or a situation that could take away your contentment into a situation that really I was enjoying. And well, I had to change celebrations and other things. But if you are a little bit detached, and this is the thing that one of the things that I want to talk also, if we start to learn the art of being a little bit detached of the normal or moral things that society has created, that you have to celebrate the 25th December, or you have to celebrate the 31st at night for the end of the year, and then so if you are a little bit more detached and you give more importance to the celebration, not for the day, then you can enjoy and celebrate another day. So I will go to Barcelona, where is my daughter living, and we will celebrate on the 15th of January. And she has learned also the art of being a little bit detached. So for her, it's not a problem. So we will meet, we will have a dinner together, we will share gifts on January. What's the problem? There is no problem. There is simply a change. So I think nowadays we need to be very prepared to accept that things are changing, and you have to be adaptive to the situations. It's the same with my job. I work as an executive coach. I have my coaching sessions and workshops with companies, and I had several sessions next week face-to-face. And yesterday I've received an email saying, oh, everything has been canceled. We cannot meet together because the programs face-to-face have been canceled. So we'll let you know when will be the session and when we will continue with the program. So next week I had job, now no job, and waiting for the next information. So these are the times that we are living. So my point is, if this is the reality, I was thinking about 4 attitudes. No, I can reject the reality and say, no, this is not right. This has to change. I don't like this situation. Well, you will suffer a lot, because this situation, you cannot change it by rejecting it. Or you can resist. You resist, oh yes, this is, but well, I don't like it. It's very similar to rejections. Also will create some problems inside yourself. And of course, there is no contentment and satisfaction. So nowadays we need to develop this attitude of acceptance, which is very important. And then acceptance can bring you to the state of satisfaction when you are able, in this acceptance, to perceive the new situations in a more positive way. And this is the work that I feel that we need to do nowadays. change are there, situation is there. So I have to accept deeply that this is the situation. There is a virus, there is a crisis, there are changes all the time, and things can change at any moment. So this is reality. Well, so my focus of attention will be on myself, on my inner feelings and my inner perceptions. It means in my inner world, in the world of my thoughts and my internal dialogue, more than in external things. Because if I expect that external things will improve and become better, I think is not the best perception of reality nowadays. Things will at least stay as they are, but it seems like they are going worse again. Today, I have had a meeting this morning with a team of coaches that I usually work with them. And they had this month of January full of activities. They were worried about how much activities they had. And in 2 days, last 2 days, all their agenda has changed. And many have been canceled, others has been postponed. But they have this attitude of adapting and changing. So in this way, we were working together and we have the same attitude. So they were saying, okay, we will have more time for ourselves and things will go better in the future, or we will adapt to them. What I want to say is that if you are not prepared for these changes, you will suffer and you will lose your contentment. But if your focus of attention nowadays, it's internally, inside yourself, and putting attention to your internal energy and the perception that you have of your internal world, then we can be contented and satisfied and have a good life, even in the middle of this crisis or difficult moments. So I was thinking about what are the signs of discontentment? Because if we perceive in ourselves these signs, then we can do something. We can change something. I think in all this work, and to be content, but to develop yourself and to have a fulfilled life, the key word is self-awareness. This is for me the key word, and this is where I put more attention. Be aware of yourself. Be aware of what is happening inside yourself. And when I do my coaching sessions, one of the main aspects that I try to encourage people to do and try to teach them is to be self-aware. Because when people are self-aware, many things can change. But if you are not aware of yourself, you cannot change anything. Before continuing, I want to share an example of one person. I've started a process of coaching, and her boss sent him to me saying that he was behaving in a very rude way with his colleagues, and he was behaving in a very aggressive way, and he was not aware of that. He was thinking that it was very normal, but people around him was feeling really bad, really bad. And her boss also was talking to me saying that she was also really very discontent with this behavior. And also he was treating her in a very rude and bad way. And she was saying, I told him, and she said to me that I don't realize that. So it was so interesting that having the first conversation with him, and he was really open to learn because he was seeing the impact of his behavior in other people, and especially in one of them, who he felt that she was a good friend of him. And she said to him, I don't want to be with you. I don't like how you are behaving with me. So he was surprised. What happened? What I'm doing? So he was talking to me and he was saying, I never had put attention to myself. I've never been aware of how I behave. And even I was thinking that this is really weak stuff. He was saying to me, psychology, coaching, self-development, this is weak stuff. This is not for me. And now that he realized that he has a very bad impact on others, he's saying to me, well, yes, I have to accept that I need to put attention on myself, but this is completely new. I've never done this in my life. So I say, okay, don't worry, we can work on this, but you have to be open to learn about yourself. So this is why I was saying that for me, the first, I would say, skill, in a sense, skills that we have to develop is self-awareness. So what are the signs of discontentment? We need to go inside. We need to observe ourselves in our daily routine, in our daily conversations, in our relationships, in our job, and observe. If I'm using the words of complaining, if I'm complaining about the situations, about the government, about the vaccines, about the virus, about anything, if I'm complaining, I'm losing my contentment, because complaints are signs of not contentment. So first thing is to realize how I'm talking to people, to myself, and if I'm using these complainings or blaming. I'm blaming other people, I'm blaming the politicians, I'm blaming life, I'm blaming God. If I'm using the blaming attitude, I'm also losing my contentment. And also there is another one, very interesting. If I have the attitude of begging, no, like a beggar. I need this, I need that, I need your respect, I need your time, I need you, whatever I need, no? All the time begging, begging, begging. This is also a sign of scarcity. It's not a sign of abundance. And this is also two very important concepts. I'm living in a life of abundance, or I'm living in a life of scarcity. And it doesn't mean if you have a lot of things or not to be in abundance, or if you have less things to be in scarcity. No, it's an attitude. If you are contented, if you are satisfied, if you feel that you have a good life, because everything that you have, you appreciate, you are grateful for that, then this is the sign of abundance. You have a lot, and then you can share with others. But if you feel that you don't have enough, you need more, you need this, you need that, you are begging, you are in a life of scarcity. And then you will never be satisfied. You will never be content. So first thing is to be aware if these signs are there. So just take a moment. You are listening to me, but now take a moment, just breathe deeply and stop for a moment and bring your attention within and just observe yourself. Maybe from this moment till now, just a few hours that you have been awakened, and observe how I wake up this morning. How were my thoughts? I was complaining about something. I was blaming someone or something. I was begging something. How was my humor, my mood? And then breakfast. And then maybe going to work or having different interactions with people or whatever. How was my attitude? So just observe if you are able to be aware of one of these signs. I always try to put very much attention to my first thought in the morning. I wake up very early, and the first thing that I do when I go out from the bed, I sit and I stay a moment of silence, and I create feelings of gratitude. And I try to connect with God, with the highest consciousness, and say, good morning, thank you for having another day. And then I usually create some positive thoughts for myself. I'm happy, or I'm contented with everything. Independently, if I am a little bit tired, or if I don't feel physically completely well, but this is secondary. The first thing for me is to create in my mind this energy of good wishes, good feelings, good thoughts. And this is the seed for the rest of the day. And then I sit for meditate for a long period of time. But the first thing when I move from my bed is just to stay a moment and don't allow any other thoughts to come. just to connect with myself and to create something good. So this is just to help you to reflect. How is my morning? How I wake up? What are my first thoughts? What is my attitude? And if you realize that there is something of this, complaints, blaming, begging, don't worry, don't feel bad. It's important that you just realize that. And then we will continue to talk and I will give you some tips to work on that. Just for the moment, realize what is happening. So next step is, what are the thieves of contentment? What are the things that steal our contentment? And this is also very interesting because I see myself sometimes involved in one of these things that I will explain now. And the things, again, is the same. How quick I'm self-aware and I can change this attitude, or I can overcome this thief and don't allow me to steal my contentment. One of the thieves, and it's very common in our lives and our society, is desires. Desires. When we are content and satisfied, it's so interesting. We don't have desires. Well, we have needs. We need to go to eat. And if we like food, we enjoy the food, of course. And we need to put clothes and we need to take a shower. So there are needs that we need to fulfill. This is normal. This is our lives. But desire is when you are not satisfied with yourself. And then you want something and you want more of this. Maybe you want more food. Maybe you want a new clothes and you have enough. Or maybe you want to buy something new and it's not necessary. I've observed myself, and this can maybe be helpful for you, that when something happened, not all the days I am constantly stable, happy, satisfied. So when something happened, sometimes in my life, I was able to observe how when I'm not satisfied and contented, immediately I want to buy something. It's so interesting. This is my perception of myself. No, the desire to buy something appears when I'm not feeling really satisfied with my life or something that has happened. And I've observed myself. So when I see this, I ask myself, what happened to you, Enrique? And I've developed also a very compassionate way of talking to myself. It has taken me time, but I have a good friend inside myself. Is myself, me, a good friend. I finish with the critic or the judge or the one who is always complaining about what are you doing wrong or whatever. So it's good if you create inside yourself this internal friendship with yourself. And when something happens and you realize, you have this compassionate conversation with yourself and say, okay, Enrique, what happened today? You have this desire to buy this, to eat this. Something is there. Oh, yes, this is insatisfaction because this and that. Oh, wow. Tell me. So I've learned to be my best friend and my best coach and be compassionate with myself. And this is one of the things that helps you to change this insatisfaction. But the point to realize it is when you feel that you have some desires. Another one, which is very connected with desires, is expectations. It's another kind of desires. But expectations, I have had to work a lot with this attitude. And well, I think I've done a good job, but still, sometimes I see myself trapped in expectations. Expectations on myself, yes, but sometimes expectations on others. And it's very subtle, but you expect that others finish this job. You expect that others phone you. You expect that others bring you that, or you expect that others have this attitude or whatever. And then you realize that this is your expectations. This is your perception. This is your understanding of the situation or of life, but others have their own different perception and their own different way of seeing things. So if you don't deal with your expectations and you change the expectations, this is the key point, into curiosity and asking questions to understand the situation of the other person. If you don't do this, you will suffer a lot. And this is my experience, because you were expecting and things were not happening as you were expecting. But if you change into curiosity and asking questions, then your expectations meets the reality. And when you see the reality, okay, maybe sometimes you have to adapt to this reality. You don't like it so much, but at least you don't lose your satisfaction and your mood, and you don't feel upset because you have changed these expectations into curiosity and questions and understanding what is happening in the situation. It happens me in my job. Sometimes I want things to happen in a quick way, and I expect others to do the same. And when others don't do the same, I don't feel well. But I've learned now to ask these questions with curiosity and to know what is happening in the other person. And then from there, to have a good conversation and to find a point where we can continue to work together to achieve our goals or achieve the results. But the moments that I have forgotten this, and I have having a conversation a little bit more strong, or I don't know in English, more trying to make the other person do what I expect to do, what I have observed is that the other person resists, protects, and makes excuses. So my observation was that it doesn't help if you put pressure to the other person to achieve the results. It's better if you deal with your expectations and bring the other person to a positive position, so then we can work together again and achieve our objectives or our goals. So expectations is one of the things that steals our contentment. And then doesn't matter what the other person is doing, I still have to be satisfied with my life and try to help the other person and together achieve the results. So this was another one. And the third one, maybe there are more, but these are the three that I've been reflecting today. It's assumptions. It's very connected. The three are very connected, but are like different perceptions, no, of the same thing. Assumptions is when I assume something about you, but I don't say to you. It's like expectations, in fact, very connected, no? I assume that you will tell me something about this situation, and you don't tell me. So I feel bad. And then I feel bad with you instead of asking you a question and clarifying what is happening there. So the idea of all these things, I will not talk more about this, and we will go to the tips and how to improve contentment. But the idea of this is very important, because if your attention is there on desires, on expectations, on assumptions, you will never be satisfied. You will never be contented with yourself. So if you realize that, and if you change that, and your focus or attention is inside yourself to sustain your contentment and satisfaction, and try to do the best in the situations outside to continue to achieve your goals or the results or whatever with other persons or your interaction, then you can continue with your satisfaction, even if the expectations, the things outside are not in the proper way, but you can help the situations and things to move forward. So let's go back to the contentment. And now I would like you, we have been talking about these signs of discontentment and also the thieves of discontentment, so that you can have a little bit of idea of what takes you away your contentment. So now let's do the exercise, opposite exercise. And just for a moment, this is not a meditation. This is just a moment of reflection again. Just connect with yourself. Again, you can, when we breathe deeply, it's like connecting with ourselves and bringing our attention inside. So go inside a little moment. You don't need even to close your eyes. Just connect with yourself and feel for a moment. What would be a life of contentment? Imagine that you are free from all these things that we have been talking. You have no desires. Just connect with this feeling. No desires. Wow. I don't need anything. You don't have any expectations about anyone, especially about yourself. No expectations. Yes, attention, yes. Not carelessness. Attention, yes, but not expectations. No worries. No judgment. No assumptions. No blaming. Connect with that. Nothing of this is in your life now. Just you live every moment as a new experience. Every moment is a new experience. Every moment you're present there. And a world of possibilities is in front of you. Every moment you can improve something as a person, as a human being. Every moment you can learn something about yourself. Every moment you can develop an internal skill. Every moment you can appreciate and be grateful about many little things in life. So just connect with the moment now and create this experience, because we can create experiences right now, and feel that you are contented and feel that you are satisfied and feel that you are free from all these things that we have been talking about. And just observe how maybe there is a smile in your face. Maybe there is a feeling of space in your chest. Maybe there is a feeling of stillness in your mind. It's so relief. Sometimes I say to myself, no worries, no problems, nothing. I'm happy, really happy. And doesn't mean that things outside are going perfect. No. But I remind myself, and this is very clear for me, I remind myself that I'm the creator of my story. I'm the creator of my life. I'm the creator of my experience. And life is so compassionate. It's so beautiful life. Life is giving us every moment a new opportunity to create a new experience. And this is how I live life. So maybe something happened. I don't feel well, but if I am aware and stop, and I say, okay, this was just a moment ago, so it's past. But now life gives me another moment where I can create a new experience right now, even if 2 seconds before it was an upset situation. But now what I'm doing with this right now moment, so I can breathe and I can connect with this feeling of contentment or satisfaction or happiness, and just be there and say, I'm happy. Yes, I can do it. Because now I have a new moment, new opportunity to create a new experience. And life is so compassionate. Life doesn't blame us. That life said to us, here you have another moment. Here you have another second. Here you have another minute. Here you have another situation. So please be aware and create something new. Because if you think about your life, life is a sequence of moments. We don't remember everything. If you try to remember now your past when you were a child, you will see that you will remember just few moments, and you construct, you build your story regarding these few moments. But there are few moments. And even if you think about them, sometimes even these moments maybe were not real. maybe were a photograph, or maybe it was a story that your mother told you. But these moments create the experience of your childhood or of your adolescence or whatever, or of your job. So life finally is a sequence of moments, and life is giving us every moment a new gift of a new moment. So to be content is to realize when you lose this energy of satisfaction, but at the same time to position yourself again in the new moment, in this exercise that we have been doing now, just free from all these things. There is no reason to be upset. Something has gone wrong, yes. Someone has not done what you were expecting, yes. Someone has said something wrong, yes. And what? This is the past. Now, just right now, you have a new moment. So what do you want to do with this new moment? Do you want to bring the experience of the past to the present and create in the present again the experience of the past? Then you lose your contentment. But if you realize this process, and if you are aware, as I said before, awareness, then you can be detached from the past, because your attention, you want, is your intention also. Your intention is that your attention is on satisfaction, contentment. And I know by experience that we can change quickly these experiences and create a new one like that, if you train yourself. And this is where meditation comes. Meditation for me, it's a constant training of how to create the best experience in your life internally. And this is why I meditate every day. I'm not a constant person in many other things, but I was asking myself many times, why am I meditating every day since 35 years? I don't know if 35 or more or less, no more, I think. Why I'm doing this every day? Why I wake up early and I sit to meditate? Because I'm not a person who was very obedient. Now I'm more, but I was more, I would say, reactive and independent. And, I don't know the name now, but well, in this sense. So I will not do a thing if someone said to me to do it, if I don't feel that is the right thing for me. So I'm meditating every day because I feel that is very beneficial for me. So I ask myself, why? Many times, because this reinforces my practice. And one of the things is this one. I've realized that through meditation, through going inside myself, through having a space for me, I can observe myself. I can learn from myself. I'm training myself to be more and more self-aware, which is for me the key skill to work on these things. And also I've realized that I can change my mind quickly if I train myself, and I can put in my mind the best thoughts, the best information, the best knowledge to create a new perception of some situations or my life or myself, and create a beautiful experience. So now I know that this is a reality for me. This is a truth for me. And this is why I see it every day. Why? Because every day there are influences from outside. Every day something is affecting me, and maybe I have an expectation, and something, maybe I have a desire, or maybe I have a rejection of something, or maybe I feel upset from something. But now I know that when I sit again in meditation and I start the day, I have my routine, my protocol that helps me to create a new day, to create a new moment, to create again a new life. And I observe myself, how you can change from a day that is not good, a day that you were feeling not so good, and next day feeling really good again and satisfied, doing this internal job. So this is one of the things. And how to, well, as I said before, I work as a coach, and it has helped me a lot in my personal development also. So I have some questions that I ask myself to position myself in a different state of mind and be able to understand the situations in a different way and be able to create this new moment, and again to connect with my satisfaction of contentment. And one thing is very ingrained in myself already, because I use it also for other people. And the question is very simple. What have I learned from this situation? So sometimes something goes wrong. I make a mistake, and it was a mistake. Yes, it was a mistake. It has no excuses. But if I ask myself, what have you learned from this situation? And you will observe that there are some qualities that you only can learn through mistakes. And it's so interesting, but I've discovered this. I was really happy. So to be patient with yourself and with others, you only can learn by not doing the right things, having patience with yourself. To be tolerant, how can you develop tolerance if you don't make mistakes? To be compassionate, to be flexible, to accept. So these are very good qualities, really important qualities for nowadays, especially, maybe not for other times so much, but now, yes. And you develop them when things are not going in the right way. And then when you ask this question, what can I learn from this situation? And you say, okay, I can learn patience. Yes, I have to be more patient. Okay, let's have more patience. What would be the situation then? Well, then there is no problem. I can wait for a little bit more. And you develop this acceptance and this patience. And then another question is very similar, are very connected, but what are the benefits of this situation? And I've observed in my life that so many times I had these expectations or these desires or whatever, and things were not going as I was expecting. But when I was able to be an observer and ask myself what I'm learning, but also what are the benefits of that, I was able to find really very good things behind the curtains of this situation. And in the first place was a lost or a problem or a whatever. But when you pause and observe, and then you say, wow, it's incredible. Thanks to this situation, this has happened, and we were able to do this or that or this differently. Wow. And if I were not able to stop, I would not be able to see that. This is why it's so important to meditate for me and to develop the art of observing yourself. And when I say meditate, of course, I sit for meditation every day. This is my, I would say, my formal training. But when I talk about meditation, for me, it's more about a meditative attitude in life. Meditative attitude in life means that I try to be an observer of myself and situations all along the day, not only when I sit to meditate. I try to be more reflective during the day. I try to be more aware of what is happening inside myself. What is the impact that I have on others? How is affecting me this situation? So it means my attention is more time inside, observing, learning, changing, more than outside and what is happening there. So it's one part is there because, well, we have to work, we have to interact, we have to see things outside. But there is another part in myself which is observing the impact, the influence, whatever is happening inside. So this is for me also, this is my way of understanding. And of course, this is my way of understanding how is meditation. The ability to be more aware of yourself and be able to change and to create experiences. So when you are able to pause and observe and be detached, you find out that there are many benefits in many situations that in the first place, there are like a lost, or there are like the failure, for example. And then the next one is, it's very interesting also. You need to challenge yourself, because when we perceive a situation, it's our interpretation based on our beliefs, based of our influences, based on our old patterns of behavior, based on many things. So when you learn this art of observing yourself, of learning about yourself, you also learn the art to challenging yourself. And this we do in coaching also, but this is to do with yourself. And for example, you see a person behaving in the wrong way, and your mind creates this thought that steals your contentment, because you feel, oh, this person is acting in this way. Why is doing this? Why is doing that? It's not the right thing to do. I was expecting to do it in a different way. So you create these thoughts, and then you stop, you pause, you observe, and you challenge yourself. Is this really true? This thought is really, the reality is true, 100% true. And then if you pause and you observe yourself and your thought, you will realize immediately that 100% is not true. This is the first thing. But then if you think more, maybe you say, okay, even 75% is not true. Then if you reflect a little bit more, maybe you realize that it's really true, or this is my interpretation. I know that this is like this. I've asked this person this question, or I tried to understand the context of the situation. No. So how can I see that this is true? This is only true in my mind. So when you challenge yourself, your perception, your statement, your belief, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't become solid, in the sense that you begin to have doubts about this idea. And this is very good, because then you are open to new possibilities. Then you are open to ask and say, please, can you tell me, why is this not done? Or what is happening here? Or maybe, what happened to you today? You feel a little bit upset. Something happened? And you will be surprised. I have been surprised so many times that when the person starts to talk to you, you realize that has nothing to do with your perception, with your assumption, with your belief. And then you say, wow, very good not to have say anything, because it was completely another story. So then with experience, you realize that you will have these thoughts, because they will come. I think one day they will not come when we will achieve a very high state, but still they come. But the idea is not a problem if they come, if you have a belief, if you have an assumption, if you have an idea of whatever expectation. But the question is again the same. Be aware of yourself, realize that this is a thought that you have created, and challenge it. Hey, this is true. This is really true. 100% true? No. Okay, 75% true? No. It's really true? Do you think that this is the situation? Why not to ask and to try to, with curiosity, to understand more the context and what is happening? And you will realize that many things you were not right, you were wrong. And this is the way that you can sustain your satisfaction, realizing that things are not outside, things are happening inside yourself. And then finally, when you feel all these things and you work on yourself, a very nice question that I ask myself, and I ask also other people, is what do I need then to change this? Or what do I need to feel better? And take care of yourself and give yourself this time for yourself, give yourself a good thought, give yourself something that you need, something that a good friend would do for you. So become your best friend And you will see that this satisfaction and contentment will still continue there. So this is why I meditate. But then, and these are the final thoughts, and this can be also another talk, but not only, and this is one of the main things also, not only is the perception that you have of situations or of people, but the question is also, what is the perception that I have about myself? How do I see myself? How do I perceive myself? And through meditation, I've learned to see myself as a spiritual being, as we said, as a soul, as energy, which has intrinsic qualities as peace, love, purity, wisdom, power. So this is another work that we have to do, to connect with ourselves and with this true spiritual identity, and realize that we are not these mistakes, these weaknesses. This is something that has been acquired. But we originally, inside ourselves, in our being, there is a very nice beauty. And this beauty is expressed through qualities as love, peace, purity, wisdom, happiness, satisfaction. And when you connect with this reality and you believe in that and you accept it and you work on it and you connect with it, then you realize that real satisfaction comes from this perception of yourself, from this connection with your spiritual identity. And then you can deal with other things in a much more different way. I still make mistakes. I have sometimes bad behaviors, something that goes wrong. But immediately I stop and I say to myself, I'm not this. This is something that I have acquired and still is affecting me. Okay, I accept it. I have to deal with it. I have to accept with humility that this was not right, but I'm not this. And I said to myself many times, I'm not this. I have to continue to work to relieve this from my life, because I don't want it. It doesn't give me satisfaction, and not to others sometimes. I'm peaceful. I'm loving. I'm a happy person. I'm a happy soul. I'm a pure soul. I'm wise. I have more information and knowledge that I think that I have if I go inside myself. And I have power. I have power to change situations. I have power to deal with all these weaknesses. I have power to create something new in my life. I have the power to finish with all these weaknesses and connect with my satisfaction and contentment. And then the last thing, when I'm in meditation, and this is another thing that I like very much, and you connect with yourself as a spiritual being, you can connect also with a higher consciousness. And when we connect with this higher consciousness, call it God, light, power, ocean, and then it's like you bring this subtle spiritual energy into your life. And then you experience yourself really to be blessed by these beautiful vibrations and energy. And this really, for me, this is for me, of course, is the source of real satisfaction, of real contentment, because you feel fulfilled inside, you feel full inside. You realize that you as a soul, you don't need anything else. Everything that you use is for your life. You need to eat, you need to dress, you need to work. But these are not the things that will give you this satisfaction and contentment. But when you are able to connect with this higher source of energy, then you feel inside full, happy, easy, calm, and so nice feelings. And then what's happened? You want to share this with others. And then you live a life of abundance, because you have a lot of things to share, good energy to share, good vibrations to share, good qualities to share. And you don't expect anything from anyone, because you know how to take from another source. And then you have a lot to share with others. Then life is a life of abundance. And then contentment is more stable and constant. So thank you for listening with so much attention. These were some thoughts and some of my experiences. And now let's see if you have any question.
That was fabulous. Absolutely fabulous, Enrique. I just love your warmth and enthusiasm. And, you know, it really comes through. So thank you so much for that. There are a lot of points that, you know, really we could go through. I mean, the brothers and sisters are writing and saying how very powerful they found this session. So really good. Okay, so yes, I have. Okay, I've been sent some anonymous questions on WhatsApp, and then there are some from here. So let's go through them. So this sister is saying that thank you for talking about contentment and self-compassion. One thing I'm aware of is that I seem to have deep guilt in the subconscious. I always feel that I'm wrong and worthless. Where does this come from, and how do I get over this?
Very deep question.
Very deep.
And deep topic and not so easy. I have worked with so many people who have the same feeling. It seems like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like it's more for women than for men. In general, I've seen in Spain, at least, so many women trying to be the best executive, the best director, the best woman, the best mother, and always this little voice saying, it's not enough, it's not enough, you are not good enough, you have to, and they finally, they are exhausted, sometimes health, big problems of health problems, and externally life is very well, but this is the internal voice, and this is where self-compassion has to come in the way. I can say for myself, I've changed this long time ago. It was not so difficult for me, it's true. So sometimes some things are more easy and others are more difficult. But I work on myself with self-compassion, and now I treat myself with a lot of love, understanding, and acceptance, and I've become my best friend. So in short, my answer would say, work on self-compassion, write compassionate dialogues to yourself, and challenge these thoughts that said that you are not good enough, that you are not good, you are not doing right. Challenge them and say, this is true, this is really true, and see reality, and you will see that they are not true. There are very small things that you are not doing right, or something has happened. Okay, but there are a lot of good things that you are doing well, and especially the attitude and the willingness to improve and to move forward. So I would encourage you to work deeply on self-compassion and forget completely the past. Whatever has happened in the past, there is no reason to bring the past to the present. For me, this idea is a very beautiful experience. Life is very compassionate. Not only God, life also, giving you every moment. And this is a right that we have, all human beings. We have the right now to create a new story. So allow yourself to create this new story. Allow yourself to leave the past in the past, whatever has happened. And I say, whatever has happened. And then be compassionate with yourself and move forward with happiness.
That's wonderful. But I think what would be lovely is looking at all the comments that are coming through. It'd be great if you do your next topic for us on self-compassion. Okay. Because seriously, people are saying they find it quite difficult to feel compassion for the self. And this is always a very hot topic. Yes. So a question from, so that was a question from, sorry, anonymous sister. So Carol wants to know, she says, how do you know you are not engaging in repression? Will all these suppressed feelings not return to bite you?
Another deep topic. Well, I can talk about my experience. It's not something general, but I've decided long time ago, I preferred to make a mistake and then realize if I was repressing or not repressing, more than repressing myself and not realizing that I'm repressing myself. I'm not sure if I'm expressing, So I've preferred, and this is a personal decision, to risk myself in some situations or doing something and then realize it was not, well, maybe it was a mistake, but I've learned from it, more than repress my feelings, constrain myself and try to be in control, but not nice control, because this will bring suffering to yourself and also health problems, a lot of health problems. So this is my way of doing, is not maybe the way of doing, but I prefer to risk myself and to learn more than to be like fear and restrain myself and not allow me to express. And this needs a deep self-reflection about why are you repressing? Are you doing for yourself, or maybe you are trying to be complacent with others, no? Or trying to please others and try to feel good, no? This feeling good syndrome. So I've preferred to not being so good, in a sense that in the perception of others, and then the reality is that others appreciate you because you are more natural, you are more real.
Yeah.
And even if you make a mistake, everyone makes mistakes. So finally, it's not so bad. And well, I am able to forgive others. This is my nature also. So why others cannot forgive me if I made a mistake? So I've tried to be more natural in this sense and to risk myself and learn from the situations rather than repress myself. But this is very personal.
But thank you so much for sharing your personal experience, because I think that is what helps souls more. It's one thing to just preach about, spiritual jewels, but it's totally another when you're coming from your own experience, which you are, and that is really appreciated. So, okay, the next question from Brother Jev. An excellent focused contribution for developing self-awareness. Can Enrique say more about the process of self-observing?
Well, I developed the attitude of talking to myself, and if there is no one here, sometimes I talk to myself externally. And it's like this talking is like someone with me. It's not me, it's me, of course, but it's like someone here, no? And maybe I'm doing something, and then I say, Enrique, I think you are doing too fast things. Do you realize? Oh, yes, sorry. Let's do it a little bit less fast and more quiet. Okay. Or I'm running here and there. Oh, you are running too much. You realize? So for me, this little voice helps me to be more aware of what is happening. And this is a very simple skill that if you use it, maybe it's helpful, no? And also another thing is to have a lot of conversations, not one, lot of conversations with other souls, with other people, asking them to give you feedback. I've learned that I'm not able to see all my blind spots, not able, but I can see the other blind spots so easily. So I have some friends, some persons who have the right to tell me in a nice way, of course, with respect, because I've given them this authority, no? And at the same time, I know that they do it with respect, to tell me. So many times in meetings, and if this person is there, after the meeting, I say, how do you have seen me in this meeting? And sometimes I say to me at the beginning, well, very good, very good. And at the end, what happened to you? You say this comment and you talk in this way. Oh, it was a pity. You make you create an impact that was not so good. Oh, yes, true. And you have to be open, not to justify yourself or to make excuses, because then next time they will not say to you anything. Yes. But if you accept and you learn a lot, I've learning a lot about myself through the comments and feedback of other people. So I would say this voice that helps me, of course, meditation and reflection and observing, this is the main training. But at the same time, when you don't see things and you are not able to be aware of that, ask other people and you will be surprised that how quickly they see you and they say to you what they see from you, you know?
And I think, like you said, it takes a lot of courage to do that. So you've got to be ready for that as well, you know.
Yes.
And I love that, you know, what you mentioned about being totally open. This is the only way we're really going to develop ourselves and really be contented and, you know. Okay, so the next question, Mandy says, how do I connect to inner power? How to practice? Please guide.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this case, it's more about meditation, purely meditation, and especially Raja Yoga meditation, which is the meditation that I personally practicing. And for me, the real power lies in your identity of spiritual identity of being a soul. So the practice is really, and it's not so easy. And I still continue to practice because it takes, it's very different than what usually we have been doing. We have been identifying with the physical body and the physical things. And now the practice is to identify yourself with the being, with the soul, with this internal energy, this energy, subtle energy that is not the body. And so it's like being detached from the body. That is like let go of the energy of the body and being more aware of more and all attention inside and be more aware of this subtle energy that you are and identifying yourself with this energy. I'm a soul. I'm a spiritual being. I repeat this to myself, I think millions of times, because I need to create this awareness. And then you realize when you are able to detach from your body, from your, not only the body, but also the I would say the labels that you have in the body. No, I'm this, I'm that, I represent this. That. So when you are able to, I'm nothing. Sometimes I like this idea of I'm nothing, but not nothing in the wrong way, in the wrong sense. Nothing that, no, all these stories is external. Yeah. I'm nothing. Wow. I'm just a point of light energy. Be there. And it goes very quickly because immediately some other things come, but stay there. And there is a lot of power. There you feel that there is energy coming to your life. And this energy manifests in the form of peace, serenity, calmness, love, satisfaction, contentment, and also to connect with the source of power, with the ocean of power, or however you want to call it. But the same is a being full of energy, most powerful being of the universe. So just connect with your thoughts, with your mind, and feel this energy and bring this energy to your soul, not to the body, to your soul, and just be connected there, concentration. And you will feel that this gives you also a lot of power to deal with the situations. And some days connection is more quickly and more easy, and other days you say, well, what happened today? And then you have to develop patience, tolerance with yourself, compassion with yourself, and not being disheartened. Just continue and say, okay, today is not so good. Let's try again tomorrow, but be consistent. This is, I think, the main thing. Be consistent in your practice. Doesn't matter if one day is better or less, but be consistent. Continue to practice, and you will see that experiences will come and power will come also.
That's so true. Wonderful. Thank you for that. So Sister Marguerite is asking, she says, you know, I live alone and I'm very scared of dying alone and being unable to manage my old age. How do I overcome this feeling? How can I overcome this fear in a practical way? Any tips?
Well, I would say that to overcome this fear, first thing is that you feel that you are not alone. And if you are able to create this internal company with yourself, you are with yourself, very important. But there is someone else who is with you, this supreme being, this internal being. So if you create this relationship with yourself and with this being, then you will feel that you are not alone. And if you are not alone, this connection will make things happen in the right way. And if you need someone, it will come. And if you need something, it will happen. So I think it's more about the feeling that you are not alone, that something is caring about you, and this being will help you. And the main thing is that you remain stable and things will happen in the right way if you are in the right mood. And I've seen this in several situations. And when the things were to happen, it has happened in the right way. But you need to feel that you are cared by someone who protects you and cares about you and is with you, and you have to remember this being. So be aware that this being is with you. And this is why meditation is so important, to create moments of connection. And this is my experience. I don't feel that I am alone. I feel that someone is protecting me. And many people say, well, what do you think about your future? Who will care about you? No, things will happen. How do you know? I don't know, but I believe that they will happen in this way. So let me create this thought. Why I have to have fear and think that no one will care about me? No, I create the thought that everything will happen in the right way. So then let's see what will happen. But at least in my mind, there is this stability and calmness that someone is taking care about me. And it has happened different times. So why not to continue to think like this? You are not alone. Someone is taking care about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Always the right thing happens at the right time. Have that faith. One thing I was going to remind, especially to all the newcomers, if you are interested in learning more about the Raj Yoga meditation course that we offer, and we offer lots of other free courses on self-esteem, overcoming anger, etc., please write to me. I have already put the WandS email and my WhatsApp number for any inquiries. So I will type it up again. Please feel free to contact me. Okay. So the next question is from Anik. She's saying, if you are at the stage of wanting to share, but what if the other does not want to hear about it and doesn't want to have what they consider to be a lecture?
Let's consider what, sorry?
You know, that, so basically you want to share with somebody, but they say, oh, stop giving me a lecture.
Ah, lecture.
Don't lecture me. That's sort of, yeah.
Well, I think I personally, I will check myself and observe in which way I'm sharing. Because if the other person is saying to me that you are giving me a lecture, maybe it's not the right way to share. Because they are feeling that you are telling something to them.
Yes.
And I had this experience. And it was at some point, a long time ago, painful because I didn't want to accept it. But as I said, I've a commitment with myself. And I had to improve myself. So this is my commitment. So I had to accept that something was not in a right way. And one person was really upset with me, saying that whatever you say to me, you are correcting me. I said, I'm not correcting you. Yes, even if you say an example, I feel that you are saying this example to make me do something differently. And I was in one way saying it's true, and the other part of me was saying, no, I try to just share. And then another person who has the right to give me feedback, I asked him and he said, Enrique, I think you have to share in a different way. Maybe it's better not to say these examples in this way or in this situation. And I think you have to reflect on that. So this helped me a lot to be aware of these subtle way of correcting or giving lectures or saying something that the other person was not really accepting. So it's very subtle. I don't know your situation, but I would say that if someone says to you something, we have to reflect why they are feeling this and really feel that something right is there for them. Maybe it's not completely the truth, okay, but for them, they perceive something from you and this is the impact. So then we need to change this impact in this person. Maybe the same thing doesn't happen to another person, because this happened to me also. In a meeting, this person was reacting to me and another person was saying to me, oh, very nice, very good. I like very much your example and it was very helpful for me. Well, okay, for this person, no problem. But if there is a problem with one person, I need to do something. I cannot say, well, this is the problem of this person that doesn't want to hear me. No. I need to adapt myself, to learn from myself and to do it in such a way that this person finally also said, oh, nice, I like your comment or I enjoy your sharing. So I need to put more attention. I would say this, at least for myself.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because very often we're not aware, because sometimes we think we know better or we feel we want to help, but they're not ready. And so you might want to try, but then you just have to stop and really check yourself, because we're not aware, but it's our tone, it's the way we say, it comes across as if we are judging, and that's not the way to do things. Lovely. So the next question is from Daksha. She says, rejection is very disturbing. How does one deal with that?
Rejection. Or someone rejecting you, or you rejecting someone? You,
somebody rejecting you.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I think it is. Yes, that's what I think.
Well, yes, this is a very, very deep and difficult situation. I think rejection, at least for me also, it's one of the most painful experiences that you can have if you feel that. And I felt that before even this spiritual life, and I was passing through a very, very painful period of my life when I was between 20 and 30. And it was, I didn't realize at that time that it was rejection, but it was a process of rejection of others to me. No? So, well, the thing is that if you feel rejected, is that you have also some expectations about others. So the idea is that when you are fulfilled with yourself, you are content with yourself, satisfied with yourself, and you just give to others, well, finally, you realize that everyone has its own story and projects his story sometimes to you or to others. And sometimes they reject you because they are projecting something, but it's not really rejecting you. So the idea is not taking it personally and don't expecting others to do differently about you. And try to be more satisfied with yourself, more content with yourself, more happy with yourself, and become a donor. Give to the other person, give something, give good wishes, give good feelings, give energy, positive energy. And then at least you will be protected with this feeling of rejection, because finally it's also the creation of your own mind. Someone is rejecting you. Okay, it's true. But what are you doing with this in your mind? I accept it and I feel it bad and I expect that they don't reject me. Then you can be all your life like this, because people will not change maybe. So it's better if you accept, if you leave it and you work on yourself and you feel that it's not personal, because this is true. It's not personally. It's some pain that this person has in his heart and is projecting on you and seeing something in you. But the question is about you. What I'm doing with this feeling or this attitude of this other person. And I would say also connect with all the people that don't reject you. Connect with all the things that you have in your life and gratitude and appreciation. And you will see that there are many reasons not to feel bad and just work on this situation in a proper way.
Love, with love. Okay, so Jenny's asking a question. She said she doesn't want to bring in, no reason to bring the past into the present, It's such a beautiful message that you gave. But she's saying how to maintain contentment when
I
you are
cannot hear
suffering.
you.
Oh,
The voice has gone. Can you repeat, please?
yeah, sure. Can you hear me now?
Oh, now yeah, I can hear. Yes.
Okay, so Jenny is saying that, yes, the comment you made about no reason to bring the past into the present. It's a very beautiful message. But how to maintain contentment when you are suffering with chronic illness? And we have many souls here who often share with us, that they're going through really tough times physically. So,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that'd be great.
Well, in today's world, we are seeing so many situations like that, no? Because the bodies are becoming old and there are many diseases and many influences, external influences that we cannot control. In this case, I have not this experience already. So I have not chronic pain. I have had some disease, but not chronic. So I'm not sure. Sometimes I ask myself if I would be able to maintain my satisfaction and contentment with that. I feel that it will reach one point, like everyone, that we will have to deal with severe illnesses or whatever, no? So I cannot say something directly as an experience, but the thing that I have observed in other souls, in other people, is that when they were practicing meditation and were detaching themselves from the body, this was a very helpful way of dealing with this chronic illness. And then there is also a deep acceptance. It's like, I would say, radical acceptance, because this is not something small, it's a big thing, that this is the situation, this is the reality in my life. So let's deal with this and let's find the best benefits that is behind that. And don't allow yourself to be influenced by the situation which is there, that you cannot change immediately, at least in this moment. So it's like working on, I would focus more on deep acceptance, so that there is no this thought that how I can deal with, why is this happening to me? Because these thoughts drains your energy and doesn't help you in your recovering. But if you create good thoughts, I'm not sure if you will recover, but at least you will deal with the situations in a much better way. So this is my thoughts about this.
Yeah,
now.
that's lovely. That's lovely. So we've got a few questions and I'm just going to go through them fast now. So I'm sorry, guys, you need to stop sending your questions in. We're nearing the end. So Sri Vidya is asking, she said, the line between observing and controlling is small. How to manage? Very good question.
Yeah. Well, I feel and think that observing has a component of detachment and controlling has a component of expectations. So when you observe, you are just observing and you can ask yourself, what can I do in this situation? But when there is the ingredient of expectations of wanting something, then has changed the observation in control. So it's like you realize that things are happening, but you don't try to influence them as you want, just to observe and then sit apart and ask yourself, what would be the best way to influence this situation? And then try to find a way. But control is when you say something, when you influence immediately, when you try to correct. And then this creates, like we have said before, the energy of the other person of rejection or don't wanting to be with you or resistance. So this is the kind of observation. I'm observing in a detached way just to understand what is happening, or I am observing, but I want something to happen in a different way. And this maybe can be a little sign to see the difference.
Sorry, there are some personal questions here, like you need some information on courses or pain courses. I will take that offline if that's okay. Yeah. Loads of thanks from people saying, Enrique, Enrique. I've got to get that.
Enrique. Enrique. In Spanish, Enrique.
Okay, lovely. So I'm going to get that right. Now, there was Stuart is saying he was a little bit late today, but it's a very good. And the question regarding letting others know what we are aware of. What he's saying is he finds it hard not to share, but this is something that we have to do because the other people are not necessarily ready for us or for the information, like you said, what we want to give. Now, I think this will have to be the last question now. It's a long one, so please bear with me while I read it out to you. So this, I think, is from Gloria, and she's saying, what we should do when we don't like the way to act in your work is to be aggressive and demanding with others. The inner, I know this. I think what she's saying is maybe she is like that. She tends to come across as aggressive, demanding. She knows that inside. She knows that you must be more kind and lovely, but you are in the role of a boss. And you need to put everybody, what they do correctly. So you want to make sure that they listen to you. But on the other hand, you've got to be very gentle and loving about it as well. Any tips on that?
It's regarding job, no, in this situation.
Yes. Yeah. Being a boss, basically being responsible.
Being a boss, yes.
Yeah.
Well, I had different experiences with many bosses, and I've been also sometimes the boss. And I've realized that this is a belief that doesn't work properly. And I was working in Expo 92 in the year 1991, 92. And my boss was a woman, very intelligent, very clever, with a big curriculum like this of director of museums and many things. And she was the director of a department of art department. And I was working with her, close to her, the assistant of her. And she said to me one day, Enrique, I like very much how you work, but you are too soft. You have to work hard. You have to say to people what they have to say. So I had to say to her, okay, let's do a deal. Let's try 1 month. You work in this way, I work in my way, and let's see the results. She was a little bit surprised because she was not used to this kind of conversation. After 1 month, she left the company because people didn't want to talk to her. They didn't want to do the work for her because they were feeling so much stress. I stayed there, not for 1 month, for 2 years more. I was going to another level of position. And I was able to make things happen in a different way, creating good relationships, being more respectful. So it's a belief that we think when we are in a position of power, of being a boss, that we need to say to things and control people. This is a belief that when we empower people and we treat them with respect, they will bring the best and they will feel much better. So, but we need to have more confidence on ourselves to be able to really trust other people. And this is a personal work. This is not something that happened like this. You need to work on yourself, practice meditation, observe yourself, and I would recommend also, you said there is someone in your company that can help you to give feedback and to have a good conversation, a little bit of coaching, maybe with another colleague. This is really helpful for that.
Yeah. Maybe like a mentor. Yeah.
Like a mentor, exactly. We need help. We cannot do everything by ourselves. This is why I'm working with people, because people doesn't know how to do many things. They know about their job, but other things they don't know. So they need someone to talk, to reflect, to behave, to see, and then to change.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. So there are loads of lovely comments coming in for you, Enrique. And I'm just going to read out this last comment, but there are loads here. So Greta is saying, thank you, Brother Enrique. Self-observation is a very powerful skill to develop. I will practice this daily as a way of moving forward. And so I think all of you have picked up loads of gems today that you will be able to put into practice. And then next time we meet Brother Enrique, then maybe you can, share with him how well you've taken something on, or where you managed to bring the change in. And lovely comments from Inner Space team, Oxford, about projection on other people, about awareness and this and that, and lecturing, etc. So everyone, I recommend that you go through this. I think I see that I've got 13 new messages, but I'm so sorry. We just have to put a stop to this. I need to inform you that next week, on the 18th, we have with us Jeff Marlowe, again, a very popular brother, and his topic is aware and awake. Aware and awake. So it so much ties up with what Enrique was saying. And yes, and I'm glad Jenny's saying, this is such a good way to begin the new year. So thank you. And Om Shanti, everyone. I just want to say, Enrique, if I want to say thanks to Rekha, our IT support, Brother Anna, all the interpreters, and they do a marvelous job every week, selflessly to serve others. So brothers and sisters, would you all like to connect? Unmute yourselves, put yourselves on camera, and let's have very powerful soul-to-soul connection with Brother Enrique for just a couple of minutes, because we're already over time. Is that okay? So would you all like to show yourselves, sisters and brothers? Hilal, Felisa, Manuel is there, Eva, Anabai, let's see you. Hi, Mochis. Hi, Pavitra. Everybody, let's just connect with our wonderful brother. Okay, Enrique, it's over to you. Let's have powerful soul-to-soul connection.
Yes, let's stay in silence, just feeling that I'm a soul and I connect with the Supreme. This energy comes to me and we share and experience these beautiful vibrations of spirituality.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. We look forward to welcoming you back on Tuesday. Have a lovely, lovely week. Lots of love. And Enrique, please take our love to everyone over there and look after yourself. We hope to see you very soon. Everyone,
thank you so much.
Take care. Thanks, Rekha. Thanks, Anabai. And thanks to each and every one of our translators. You guys are amazing. Pavitra, all of you, well done. Take care, and we look forward to welcoming you on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye now.